Okay, so what are the contents of the email going to be? Now, this email is going to be your first, shall I say, use the word attack, right? Shall I say it's going to be your first, it's kind of like an attack, right? You're kind of like, it's your first throw at the developer, ideally speaking. Trust me, this email, don't be fooled by the fact that it's at the bottom over here. It's just the way the board is set up, is super critical. And the number one thing you're going to be asking in this email, supported with all the other information that you've gathered over here and that you can read from my email templates that you can download. The number one thing that you're going to ensure that you hit the number one thing that you're going to be asking for in that email is you're going to ask for a meeting. Okay? You're going to ask for an actual physical one-on-one meeting with the CEO. Now, there's a little bit of danger in this situation and ease, and I'll explain why. If you've got an extremely strong case, very strong, solid, and all the reasoning behind it is absolutely on point, and the developer's completely done a shit job in terms of the way they've treated you or the way the project has gone, you're not going to actually meet the CEO. Okay? Do you know what's going to happen? The CEO is just going to push it down to the CFO, the COO, or tell his personal assistant, take care of this man and give him his money back. We've done so many wrong things that he's already illustrated in the email that I don't need to meet him to know that all he wants is his money back and just give it to him. Okay? Now, that's ideally something that would happen, okay? So number one, you are irritating them by trying to take the CEO's time, but you're very firm because you send an email and you send it by FedEx that you want to see the CEO. Now, if your case is super strong, you're going to get your money, CEO's not going to meet you, okay? He doesn't need to, and you don't want to meet the CEO either, right? The meeting's not the agenda. The aim is to get your money back. Why and how doesn't matter, just leverage the situation to get your money back. If your situation is 50-50, now it becomes a little bit tricky. Why does it become tricky? If your situation is 50-50, for instance, if you're using the force majeure clause to get out of a situation, the fact, or if you are not able to prove that the developer has actually done wrong on paper, but it's just rumors, then you know that they've done wrong. Why is your situation a 50-50? Because I'm assuming you're not trained in the art of getting money out of people, right? I'm assuming that at this level. But whatever level of ability you have, even me, I'm very careful when I'm going into a meeting. The reason is developers, especially those who do a lot of wrong, are very well tuned and trained for these meetings. They know what they want to do, how to play with you to be able to get you to what they want. Okay? And if you're not trained, then you could fall into their trap further. And essentially, there's a saying in Urdu in Pakistan that sometimes you went to take, but you actually gave more than what you actually intended to take. And essentially, the other side's won. So why I'm saying it's dangerous as well, but it's very critical to try to get that meeting. But why it's very dangerous is because they could play with you the way they have been doing with many other investors, and you're going to be perhaps on the losing end, which is not my aim, right? Which is not your aim. Our aim is to get our money back. So you got to be super careful. Also, the reason that you asked for the meeting is if your case is super strong, but the CEOs decided that we shouldn't just pay everybody who approaches us with this information or that we have done wrong by them. What you have shown the CEO or the person in charge on the other side is that you're willing to parlay, you're willing to sit down on the table, talk, You're giving them this false sense of hope that you are going to listen to whatever argument they're going to be bringing up for you to be able to so they're going to assume that they're going to be able to convince you to come to terms on their terms. So it's dangerous, but it's a necessity. You gotta hit where it matters, which is straight to the CEO, not at the bottom level, not at the customer service level, not at the CMO level, not at the COO level. You gotta go straight to the CEO because he's got the money and the authority to say, yes, refund this person's money or solve his problem. And the reason you're doing it via a meeting is you're going to irritate him and take his time, and he doesn't want to give you time, right? So you want to irritate and take his time, and so that he's just going to pay you to get rid of you, right? Remember, we don't want to meet him, but we want to get our money back, right? Here's something else that you're going to do for that meeting, okay? When you go in to meet the CEO, be prepared, the CEO might not come and meet you. He's going to send, even if he has promised to meet you and you have reminded the PA that I'm flying in from so-and-so country, please make sure that the CEO is there. At the last minute, the CEO is going to have a round of golf or the gym membership or the woman he's about to get married. Something's going to come up and he's going to want to give this meeting away to somebody else. That's one probability that might happen. The other thing that might happen is the CEO comes into the meeting, but he's got like 3 or 2 other people with him. He's got the chief of legal or his legal lawyer, or he's got a financial accountant who's sitting with him, or he's got the chief sales officer who's actually made this sale to you, okay? So they're going to come in with an army of people. What do? Right? Do you walk in alone? No. Everybody's got some friends, and I'm sure you do as well. What you're going to do is you're going to hook up with that one friend of yours who is well versed in the ways of the world, knows how things go about, and is super stubborn. Okay, you're going to bring him up to speed. Now, with your friend, you can bribe him, okay? You can tell him, I'll buy you dinner, or I'll put you and your wife in a 5-star hotel for 5 days. Help me get this money back. But you got to bring this friend with you on board. The reason is, and you got to find a wise friend who's well-versed and very stubborn. The reason is, you're going to have this friend hold your hand during the meeting. Essentially speaking, this is what might happen. If you're looking to get 300,000 back, if you're looking to get 300,000 dirhams back, okay, the CEO might offer you, let's say, 100,000. And maybe you're in such dire needs that you've been trying to get this money back. You might say, hey, you know what? I'll take it. This is a wrong move because anybody, even like a novice, knows that any first offer is generally not the best offer, right? But who's going to hold you back from saying yes to whatever happens in the meeting? Because what essentially you need to do is you need to go into that meeting and you need to stick to your demands. And the way that I am going to show you to structure the email is that you're going to ask for the moon and the stars. So you're not going to just ask for your original capital back. You're going to ask for them to give you compensation for all this time delay, this opportunity cost that they have forced you to go through, all the psychological problems that you've had, right? They need to not give you 300,000 back, they should be paying you 500,000 dirhams back. So the CEO and the CMO and the CFO, they already need to realize that, look, this guy is serious, and if we don't parlay with him, he's going to take us for more, okay? In the email, so I'll briefly cover it right now. In the email, you're going to be quoting the law. Okay, you gotta actually quote the law. You gotta say, so if you found something that the developer has done wrong, you're gonna say, you have done such and such wrong, which is which contravenes the law number 28, and then you copy paste the law. Okay, remember that book that you read, the DLD laws? Okay, this is where it all comes together. Okay. So it's very critical for you to actually read it. You're going to use force majeure, okay? You're going to use that especially in the current times. You're going to use any discrepancies that you found, here and here. You're going to use any discrepancies that you have found in the SPA and the reservation form. And by listening to all the case studies that I've got and all the other examples that I've given you in terms of, I'm going to give it to you in a separate video, that things that the developers do wrong, you will be able to find holes in the reservation form and the SPA. Okay, and these are essentially the email. I'm giving you a template, so just follow the template. Okay. Now, you might be tempted at this stage to ask me, why shouldn't I just get a lawyer to send this email? Okay, there's a particular reason. Okay, so let me just put this over here like this. 14. No lawyer at this stage. No lawyer at this stage. Now, sometimes it's very critical for you to be able to go to the, sometimes it's very critical for you to be able to go straight to the top with as big a hammer as possible and hit it hard for you to be able to get a result in your favor. I agree with that. No problem. And some people will want to go the lawyer route because they absolutely feel that if they don't go with the lawyer situation, they're going to actually not benefit, or things are going to get delayed. My suggestion at this stage is do not engage a lawyer, even if you have a friend, to send a legal document to the developer. The reason is either his in-house legal team is going to see it and they're going to respond in a very lawyerly fashion, or an outside legal team, because the CEO gets worried and now he wants an outside legal team to look at it and respond to you. What you're looking for, is you're looking for an amicable solution. You're not looking to break somebody. You're not looking to put them out of business. He has not, God forbid, done something to you in terms of real bodily harm. I know money matters, but right now you're trying to seek an amicable solution. You don't want to destroy the developer. Sorry to say this, and you don't care at this stage if he's going to pay everybody else who he's done wrong. You're looking for your money to come to you and get out. Okay, it's the fact of life. Okay. Number 16, you please, demands that you make, you don't budge from them. Okay, so here's the thing. As I explained to you, in the email that you sent, you're asking for the moon if all you really deserve are the stars. But you're not going to budge from these demands, okay? You're not going to budge from these demands. Please, the friend that you're taking with, he needs to know that you guys are going to stick to what you absolutely want, and you're not going to get pulled away by the developer, because the developer at this stage in the beginning is going to offer you countermeasures, or they're going to try to negotiate. You gotta stick to your demands, because it's very easy for the developer to pull you across in some kind of solution that works out better for them in their favor. Your ideal solution is your money back. That's the ideal solution. And you don't budge from your demands until you've exhausted every single way of you being able to get your money back, okay? You might be wondering, what do I do if I'm not hearing back from the developer and I absolutely need that meeting, right? Okay, so you're gonna be persistent and you're gonna send email 1, 2, 3. Like, you continuously send emails, and then you can add a FedEx packet as well at this stage to make sure that they take notice and you get that meeting, right? Be very firm, get that meeting, get the developer to start doing something which they call parlay, right? They're going to negotiate, okay? Parlay is another word to dance with you, right? They want to start dancing at some stage, and you'll see that they will. Trust me, they will, okay? If your letter is well drafted, uses the law, use the template that I'm showing to you, and you're persistent, they're going to meet with you. You're going to get that meeting, okay? One thing that you make sure that you don't do At this stage, no calls, no WhatsApp. This is absolutely critical. Do not communicate through calls or WhatsApp. The reason why you do not do that is because the developer could slowly and easily guide you towards a solution that works for the developer's favor, and do it over WhatsApp or non-verbal, non-written communication for which you will then have no proof. Remember I said that your communication is only supposed to be over email. As long as it's in your favor, always do it in writing. If it's going to be like that's going to go against you, like for instance, you don't want to admit that you can't pay the developer anymore, so you don't put it in writing. You can always verbally convey that to them or in the meeting. Essentially speaking, you need to stay away from phone calls and WhatsApp, because I've seen developers the developers pull you into a certain direction off the record, and then when it comes time to put things on the record, they'll say, oh, we didn't say that, we didn't really mean that. So it's always emails back and forth, okay, because they know that this person is now building a repertoire an ammunition of emails that he could possibly use against us, right, in RERA, which is the Real Estate Regulatory Authority, or at court, okay. Again, so no negotiation, don't parlay with them. This is another point. Okay, by the way, so in your email, so you might be thinking, what about RERA and where does that go, right? So in your email, you're going to threaten them with RERA and court as a very small bullet point, right? But remember, you haven't gone to RERA and you haven't gone to the court. Court takes money up front. RERA, you're one of the people who are complaining and they're not really, like, they would love to do something for you, but really think about it, right? Are they just sitting there free to help you out? Yes, they're supposed to, that's their job, but they might not be able to, okay? So just understand this. You're using RERA and the court as a threat. And the fact that you're allowing them to assume that you're willing to meet and parlay, which means dance and come to some kind of negotiated settlement, allows them to think, okay, there is the threat of RERA, and maybe the developer has done something considerably wrong that would put like a fine of 50, 500,000, maybe even jail term on them. They'll think there's a threat of court, but this person hasn't gone there yet. But his email is so well worded that I'm pretty sure that he would go there and he means business, okay? So essentially speaking, right now at this stage, you're using the threat of going to RERA, okay? Number 22, embarrass them further, okay? How do you embarrass them, okay? One of the developers that I helped one of my clients get 300,000 dirhams plus back from, the CEO was always in the news, okay? So always in the news, receiving awards for best dressed, receiving awards for best investment, etc., etc. I took out one of the, I saw him in the news, so we had already reached a stage where the CEO had said that we'll sort your problem out, it's okay, we'll give you your money back, but who wants to give 300, like almost $100,000 back? What they wanted my client to do was just buy another one of their properties. My client didn't want to do anything with them, just wanted his money back, right? And he'd already agreed, but this was now like 3 to 4 months and we hadn't gotten our money back. So essentially speaking, what I did is I printed out him receiving an award, and I made my client sign below and say, congratulations, I'm really happy that you received this award. I wish that you would resolve my case because I'm really desperate for my money. In this situation, the client had a father, I think also, that was sick and he needed some money for his treatment, stuff like that. And we FedExed it to the CEO, right? And the CEO probably saw this person congratulating, and I'm pretty sure they felt bad, okay? Now, at this stage, I'm going to tell you, because now you're going to understand a lot about your own case. So at this stage, you do go to RERA. Okay? You do go to RERA. But how do you go to RERA? Okay? There's two ways to go to RERA. There is the meek way and there's the strong way. Okay? The weak way is to just go up to RERA and speak to some clerk at the bottom of the ladder who's going to tell you that your case is similar to the other 100 cases that he has received over the past 6 to 8 months. And you should really go to court, perhaps, or approach the developer. And, he stops working at a certain point in time. He's a government employee, bless him. And, seal and all the best. And some of them are helpful and some of them will guide you. No doubt about it. But the way you go to RERA is you walk straight up to the CEO's office. Obviously, you're not going to see the CEO. He's going to have like an army of personal assistants sitting outside, filtering you and making sure that you don't get past them. You're going to go to them and say, I'd like to meet with the CEO. And they're going to ask you why. Tell them, I'm an investor in Dubai and I've been unjustly served in a certain situation. They're going to say, sorry, you can't see the CEO. He's busy, he's in a meeting, he's not here, etc. Maybe he's traveling. They're going to say, okay, that's fine. I understand. I would like to email him then. If you could give me his personal email address, personal official email address. They will give it to you. You will take the PA's email and then the email that you sent to remember the email that you sent to the developer, you're going to change it a little bit to send it to the CEO of RERA and you're going to FedEx him the letter as well. You're going to ask him to please take note of this and ask for that meeting. Now, if you get the meeting, that's great. You're most likely not going to get the meeting with the CEO. He's going to relegate it to somebody, but not the absolute bottom person. He's going to relegate it to somebody who you can meet at this stage. Now, please understand that meeting with RERA is point number 27 in this entire game of chess. Do not start there. You might cause yourself more harm because RERA might slap a fine on the developer. Maybe the developer has friends who work with them in RERA. Like, things can get ugly very fast and you're looking for an amicable solution. You're not looking to get things in the face of the developer ugly. You want something that's good for you and works out for you. Does that make sense to you? Okay, good. 28. Be extremely persistent and move like lightning, okay? Fast and hard. Let's call it fast and hard, okay? You got to be very persistent. Remember, the hinge of the door that gets the oil is the one that creaks the most, essentially speaking, okay? You got to move fast and you got to move extremely in a very persistent way. Why is that? Whatever the current situation in the market, in your personal particular situation, there might be several people following up with the developer trying to get a resolution. Now, you might be in the complete right and you deserve to get your money back, but notice this, right? Here's what happens in bankruptcies. Here's what happens with who gets the money. The one who's the most persistent and the most loudest in the best way, right? If you are not there at the front of the queue, you're going to be at the back of the queue. You're never going to get your money. Okay? This is what happens. A lot of my clients, they're able to go through a lot of this. They're able to get here. We're parlaying and they just drop steam, right? You can't lose steam at this stage. You got to push forward. You got to push super hard, super fast. You cannot give the developer 1 week to reply to your email. It's like you send one email and the next email you can send the next day as a reply, as a reminder, I'm waiting for your reply. Most people are too nice to somebody else and think, it's okay. I'm not sure if they've had a chance to read my email, so I'll just wait. Okay, at this stage, you do engage somebody from the court, okay? So point number 29 is you engage somebody from the court. Now here's the issue with the court, okay? If you go to the court, essentially speaking, what's going to happen is just to get the court engaged, you have to pay a 5% fee. So if you're looking for 300,000 dirhams back, you're going to have to pay 15,000 dirhams as court fees. Why the court does this, it wants to make sure that people don't bring frivolous, unsubstantiated claims against each other, which is fair, I think, which is not fair, it's more than fair. You're going to have to engage a lawyer, and the lawyer, just to mobilize his resources to study all of this, look at your SPA, your reservation form, formulate a strategy, is going to cost you 5 to 10,000 dirhams. And then his success fee of the lawyer, if he's going to get you 300,000 dirham back, his success fee will range between 10 to 20%, which means that he's going to be looking at, so 15 you paid to the court, 5,000 for him to mobilize, and he's going to adjust that with his success fee anywhere between 30 to 60,000. So you're looking at between 30 to 60,000, anywhere in between, that you're going to be paying away if you're looking to get 300,000 dirhams back. God forbid it's more than that. But the way you approach the court here, and again, I'll put you in touch with somebody who can draft a simple letter based on all the information that you're going to give him from here. A simple letter that threatens them with you going to court, not actually going to court. There's a big difference, okay? You can send somebody a letter that says, remedy this situation, or the next step is we're going to court, but it makes a big difference if that letter is going on the letterhead of a law firm. Now, ideally speaking, you should be able to do that with not even $1,000, rather, I would say about $300, okay? So a decent lawyer might charge you this. If you've got a friend who's a lawyer, if you've got in-house legal, etc., they should be able to help you out with this, okay? This is what you do with the court. You don't go full-blown with the court. You're going to lose 30 to 60,000 dirhams on just 300,000 that you're trying to get back, okay? Let's hope that at this stage we say, yay, you've got a resolution, okay? You are somewhere with the developer, you've done the parlaying, you've done the negotiation, you're in a situation where you're about to get a resolution out from them, okay? That's great. That's great news. Absolutely awesome, okay? You got to make sure that you get the resolution in writing. Is that making sense to you? A lot of times people will promise you things, but when it comes down to committing and delivering, they will give you something else. Any resolution that you meet with the developer has to be in writing. Anything other than writing, it's not worth the words they were spoken on, okay? Number 4. And if the developer is not willing to give it to you in writing, what you do is you send them an email and you get them to acknowledge it back to you so that you have proof of it in writing, okay? Last but not the least, there's 2 other things that I'm going to make you do, which is collections, okay? And documentation. Can you see this? Yeah, I think so. Okay? Resolution, signing an agreement that the developer is going to give you money back, all good and dandy, is one thing. Collecting that money is a completely other ball game, because essentially what's going to happen, CEO is going to adjust and say yes, do it. The CFO is going to say okay, and the COO is going to say okay. But you got to understand that when money goes into an organization, it's pretty easy, it's pretty simple. Getting it back from them, sometimes not that simple, but if you followed all of these steps, it's going to be simple. You're at the last stage. At this last stage, you're going to get, have you ever seen The Matrix where Keanu Reeves kind of like jumps into the agent and becomes one with the agent? This is what you're going to become. You're going to become one with the back office staff. You're going to become best friends with them. You're going to show them their face, and you're going to ask them very politely and gently and prod them on to make sure that they're actually getting things done for you and getting your money out, because from resolution to actual collection can be 1 month to 2 months, because they're used to letting money come in, they don't want money going out. Last but not the least, if you're still having trouble, there's always the press you can go to, okay? There are situations where you can go to the press, the local newspaper, but again, you threaten the developer that you're going to go to the press. You don't go to the press in the beginning, okay? But just so you know, there's always going to be reporters, locally speaking, who are looking to break certain news, okay? If your case or a lot of other investors in a similar situation, the case is big enough, newspapers need to entertain, provide news. News reporters are sometimes sitting free, and they need a story that's spicy enough for them to run in the newspaper. You could go to them. Just be careful with a few things. In Dubai, you can't slander, you can't misrepresent facts. If you go to the press with something that's not true, the developer can countersue you. So I'm not going to advise you to actually go to the press and spew lies. I would also advise you to be taking some legal advice before you start talking to the press, and make sure that the reporter sounds the story or brings out the story in a way that you are not getting, you're absolved for any, you're not committing a crime, okay? This is what I'm essentially speaking, okay? So if you go through with all these 1 to 32 points, I can almost guarantee that you're going to get your money back, okay? But you have to, one of the things that I would say super important is this. And leveraging it, being super fast, super persistent, having the right mindset, and then leveraging that information in a very fast, persistent, hard fashion. All the best. I know you're going to do it. You're going to get your money back. Go out there and get it. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. My name is Fahd Dawood. I've been doing this for 15 plus years. I started in 2006 in Toronto, Canada, and since 2007 I've been practicing real estate in Dubai. If you want to work with me, reach out. There's a forum and a mobile number that you can reach out to be able to work with me. I do paid consulting to help you with my services. My team and myself are available. If you like the video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends so that they may be able to benefit from the advice given here. My goal is to invest in your life and your future. Thanks for watching.